you this. This is exactly what fat chicks do. Snickers bar and a Diet Pepsi. Because I do the same thing.
Well, in my defense, I was just getting the Diet Pepsi, and then Steve, he was rubbing my muffin top. He said, I'll split a Snickers with you. I think that says come online.
We have in chat, we have Grumpy House just joined us, and he says, is that Lexi's voice? Yes, it is.
Yay, we got her back today.
I am back for the day because Sierra is on sex holiday in California, and she's been posting all over Facebook. She has been sexing it up.
Good for her.
Woohoo. So that's good.
Yeah. She's had some stress going on in her life lately with her sister moving in, and she's a great mom, so she deserves it.
Yeah.
So good for her.
Where is your boy?
Her boy was with me Thursday and Friday, and then when he got out of school Friday, I took him with Dad.
Baby daddy got him? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But my house is the second house for the boy. He lives there, so he it's like no big deal. Mom's gone, so what?
Right.
Yeah. Your house too.
So
you should cook for me more.
I'll cook for you. Did you like my chili? Okay, I'll cook for you.
So our guest today, go ahead. Why don't you introduce our guest today?
Yeah. Okay, our guest today, if you don't already know, is my former husband. But anyway, his big thing, what he's here for today, is not because of that, but because he is with Frugal Pest Control, and he has one of only 2 bed bug detection dogs in Las Vegas. And so he's an expert not only on pest control, but on the whole bed bug. And I know that the whole bed bug dog thing is what people are very interested in, because who the fuck ever know that there was a bed bug detection dog? So if you could, please, start with the story on how you got caught up in all this.
This is kind of a funny story. Back a couple years ago, my horse racing buddy Tony got bed bugs.
I'm sure he loves you for that right now.
You couldn't disguise his name.
Yeah,
Tony, you got bed bugs. I'm not dating you.
This is like, you know where I got him from? Ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Moved in.
Why are you looking at me? I'm not his ex-girlfriend.
Isn't that a great idea? Keep a vial of bed bugs, and when they piss you off, let them go in their house.
Yeah.
I was determined. Never mind, we'll get it.
I can tell you some fun.
Okay, so anyway, back to Tony.
Back to Tony. So Tony's temporary solution was to cordon off the one room that had bed bugs. He taped it over, and they didn't go in. Nobody left that room for 9 months. But eventually, he got them taken care of. In the meantime, I guess she's now my ex. Some of you probably know Bree Brown. We're technically still married, but we're separated. She wanted a dog, and as a matter of fact, if you have spent any time on Facebook, she just got a dog. So I guess she wanted a dog. My ADD solution to the dog was, let's get a bed bug detection dog and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I did some fabulous ADD-style research. I went to all of Craigslist, which allows you to search Craigslist for the whole country. I put in bed bug and bed bug detection dog, and I came up with an ad in the state of Washington that said, I recently bought a bed bug detection dog. I'll give you a free inspection. I need to collect live bed bugs for my dog to train. And her phone number. So I called her cold. I said, hey, my name's Steve. We live in Las Vegas. I'm thinking about this business too. What can you tell me about it? Turns out she was a housing inspector, so she had experience inspecting housing and knew that whole side of the business. And tell me that this was a woman that did a lot of research. So she told me where she got the dog. I called her 3 times. So I convinced Bree that we're going to get a bed bug dog. This is an expensive dog. I got it from the same place that
Kansas City, right?
Right.
Okay.
Same place that this woman got her dog from, and they also primarily train bomb dogs. I got to pick between a lab and a border collie, and I picked the lab. Remy, that's Remy that was in the picture. So I come home, and
Remy.
Bed bug dogs need to train, and I posted an ad on Craigslist that said free inspection for bed bugs, knowing that Craigslist is not a great place to advertise for pest control. And no one called for about a week. Then I get a number from the 775 area code, which I know is Reno. It says, Guy leaves a message, says, I'm from the State Department of Agriculture, and I saw your post on Craigslist, and I need to talk to you. I was like, oh, this can't be good. So I call him back. He says, yeah, you need to be licensed pest control to do bed bug detection with your dog. And I said, well, this lady in the state of Washington never told me that. And he says, well, the pest control laws in the state of Washington
Are very different.
are very different. This is what I told you about ADD research. They're very different. Come down to the local office and we'll explain to you what you have to do. So I went to the local office and I found out that I had to take a pest control test. And I had to find a company that will hire me once I passed that test, which wasn't, the test wasn't, I studied like crazy. I passed the test. So now, this was a couple years ago, now I'm licensed pest control, and I can tell you about all kinds of bugs besides bed bugs. There's like, of 150 questions, 5 were about bed bugs on this test.
And you got into this just to do bed bugs. And
Well,
and I got to tell you, he's exterminated the bees in a tree in my backyard. Also the scorpions in my backyard.
Vegas is not really known for bed bugs because if they are prevalent in the hospitality industry, they keep it suppressed.
You're
So
right.
it's not
They
really
don't
used.
want people to know about it.
It's out there. It's
But
just,
it's not like synonymous. If you think bed bugs, you think New York because it's kind of synonymous right now, and even cockroaches now. But
well, let me give you a little bed bug history. We touched on it briefly, but here is why there's an explosion of bed bugs. DDT, as I said earlier, really did a tremendous job of keeping bed bugs at bay. And if you know anything about pest control and pesticides, we call it residual effect. And if I spray the corner here on January 1st with DDT, and a bed bug walked by there in November, 11 months later, it would still kill the bed bug. That is an amazing residual effect.
hence the regulation and licensing
Right.
people.
Right. Exactly. So DDT was going right up the food chain. The birds would eat the insects, then the amount of DDT was getting in the birds, and then it was getting in the chickens, and it was getting in the beef, and it was way. So, and also, over a course of time, bed bugs can develop a resistancy to DDT. So the ones that were left, the few that were left, are resistant to it. So if we brought it back, it's not going to be a great savior. So sometime around 2000, we are basically, as pest control people, we don't, there's not a new pesticide. It costs millions of dollars to come up with new pesticides. And the EPA is very strict about what you can use and where you can use it. And they are really trying to protect us from, being having problems with chemicals. So there's no new pesticides coming out.
What was my line? Fucking Al Gore.
Right.
Yeah, amen.
So what's happened
That's
is,
someone else I'd do, just by
So-
the way.
Al Gore?
Al Gore.
so you've got the perfect storm here. You have a pest that has been with us forever. You've got a real lack of education because there's like a 20 or 30 year gap. I did a job for a woman who's 70 years old, and I never heard of bed bugs in my whole life. So, well, that's because of DDT. And now you have people traveling, and you have people traveling from other countries, and these guys are as stealth as a pest as you'll ever find.
I think that the most interesting thing you've told me is don't put your clothes in the drawers at hotels.
Yeah, I got a 2-prong attack. I'm gonna tell you guys first how not to get bed bugs in a hotel, and then I'm gonna tell you what to do if you do get them. But right, in a hotel, in the low numbers, bed bugs hide like crazy, and unless you tear the room apart or you have Remy with you to do a bed bug inspection. I mean, it would take me to do a really good inspection in a hotel room like 30 minutes. You are
In one room.
In one room. With the dog, obviously, you can cut that time down, but you're not going to find them. They hide really well.
And he did show me. He brought, what was that you brought? Like a rag with residue or something on it. Bed bug. I don't know. It better not have been a fucking real bed bug.
I have to come clean, but
Can we talk about the trick you taught me before.
Well,
But
I'll
anyway,
tell that story. But
I was saying that he hid this rag, and Remy, the bedbug dog, found it. Yeah.
Well, bed bugs give off a smell that's like an oil in a dog's nose. This is how they explain the dog's nose to me. You walk into Denise's kitchen and she's cooking beef stew, and we smell beef stew.
And I make really good beef stew. By the way.
Remy can smell. Sweet cheek, sorry.
He's busting us all out tonight.
Yeah. Well, Remy can smell the celery, the carrots, the beef. She can
Layered flavors.
Right. She can differentiate. So there's a couple of no-nos, and let's talk real quick on how you wind up with bed bugs. There's usually one or two ways. Either you stayed somewhere that had them, somebody stayed with you and brought them, or your 20-year-old son saw a couch on the side of the road and brought it home thinking, what a great deal this couch is. And believe me, I've been in homes where that has happened.
My friend got him from a set of lamps from a garage sale.
Which is a little unusual.
Yeah, the lampshades. They were in the lampshades.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's something else. Now I gotta worry about.
No, when you buy
a lamp for you, Gliss, in the car.
Never buying a lamp ever again.
But keep this in mind. There's a couple things that are in play when you're in a hotel room. Okay? The bugs are going to live really close to the bed. And if you get bit tonight, it's not a big deal. If you take them home, it's a big deal. So whenever I go into a hotel room, I'm more cognizant of my stuff than, Now, here's the other tricky thing about bedbug bites, and I will show a picture out of a book in a minute. Half the population reacts, and half the population don't react. The people that react have me on speed dial. I can't get to their house fast enough. The people
3:30 in the morning.
The people that don't react, it's a nuisance. The people that react, they can't get me there fast enough. So
you're saying that people can have bed bugs, never know it because they have no reaction to them.
right. So
even if there's no reaction, you need Remy.
right. So you don't. So in a hotel room, it's a definite no-no to put your clothes in those drawers because when bed bugs haven't fed, they're really flat and they can hide in those drawers. I'm good. I brought some stuff that I'm going to show you with a suitcase. I'll get my prop out. Without this prop, I recommend to put your suitcase as far away from the bed as possible, like in the bathroom. But let me show you what I got here.
So I just want to clarify: if you do get bed bugs, it doesn't necessarily mean you're dirty either. I think people.
No, they ride
on.
No.
They take a ride.
I just want to say because I think some people think automatically because if you were to get them, that it was because you were in a dirty environment. Or,
Right.
So I just wanted to
having cockroaches.
Right.
Kind of
Right,
thing.
and I mean, some of the nicest hotels in this town have them,
Oh yeah, and you can go on YouTube and find.
and those rooms are cleaned every day.
right.
I used to clean those rooms.
Yeah,
They're
me
not clean
too.
that well.
Here's what matters. Who stayed in the room before you? That's what matters. So one thing I also want to mention is I go into a lot of homes and I see the home remedies that you buy at Target or at Home Depot. That's so not strong enough, and you're just throwing your money away. It's really call a professional. Don't wait. The quicker you jump on this, the better.
Because don't they multiply very quickly?
Yeah, the females lay 5 eggs a day. And
Oh my God!
And
Yeah,
here,
Jesus.
they multiply very
this
quickly.
being a sexually oriented show, you guys will find this kind of interesting. Okay, I got to give you a little bug biology. This is why you can't. Usually, bed bugs start in like one bedroom, but this is why you just can't treat the one bedroom. When bed bugs mate, and when I put them in vials, because I have to maintain bed bugs, because Remy has to smell, the real McCoy.
Did you bring any?
Maybe. I can't tell you.
I was a little afraid to come to this show today.
Well, if any of you have a problem, I'll give you a comp. All right. So anybody in this room has bed bugs in the next 4 months, just call me.
Because we caught them at the show.
Yeah, right. That's not going to happen. That's going to happen. So, when
Mr. Toxie, back away. Move away from the bag.
when the bugs
Away from the bag.
okay, when the male bugs mate with the females, they actually pierce the body of the female like a stinger.
That's what we do too.
Really?
Yeah.
When you and
You're completely discussing a lovemaking session with
Really?
I was gonna say if my skin got pierced every time I had sex, I'd go to the nunnery.
Yeah. So what happens is, as for the female self-preservation, when the population of males gets higher and higher and higher, she takes off and goes into another room and lays her eggs, and they can walk.
She's tired of getting fucking pierced.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't blame her. It's just like I'm out of this bitch.
Yeah, these motherfuckers in here busting me up.
Yeah.
So that's why they spread. Okay, so I brought a suitcase.
You've had that suitcase for a real.
Glitz is backing up from the suitcase.
You've had that
Please
suitcase a
get
really
closer
long
to
time.
Glitz.
I remember that suitcase.
Mr. Toxie, push your chair a little
Oh, there's a pillow.
That's nothing. Okay. So now this is for somebody. Where is it? Can you?
Make sure the camera's.
Can
on
you
A space bag?
Can
We may even want to put it up here.
Alexia? Can you give me a so I can see?
Oh, you're gonna put it
you're
up there
gonna,
so he can make sure everything's shown
okay.
right.
Now, this is not something that you have to do. If you travel a lot, this is probably a good idea. Okay.
And don't you travel a lot, Glitz?
I do.
Okay, listen up.
You can, if I go into a room, I just throw my bag in the bathroom because it's highly unlikely there's going to be bed bugs in the bathroom. They're going to be right on top of the bed, in the headboard, in the nightstand. And surprisingly, they don't love the mattress. They love the box spring. They want to be close to you, but not right on top of you. But this space bag is like $9, and we're not going to suck the air out of it. It's basically going to be a Ziploc bag for our suitcase. So, the idea of this, of course, is to suck the air out of it. But we're just looking for, these guys are great hitchhikers. So, it's like a giant Ziploc bag for a suitcase.
Where could you purchase one of these so people know?
I got them. I got this at the U-Haul store, but they also have it at.
Yeah, you can get them at CVS.
Can you? Oh, okay.
You may have to shop around certain CVS's. But
So when you get to a hotel, you throw your suitcase in the bathroom, and then you put your suitcase in that bag.
Right.
So in my case, I don't have a garage or anything like that because I live in an apartment. So when I get back, I could put my suitcase in that.
Right. You
Put it in the trunk of your car.
In the summer.
In the really hot weather, they die.
Hold this.
So, if you
Hug
get
it close, Glitz. Hug the bag close.
So, in a hotel room. Oops.
Oh, that's good
Well, it's
advertising. It's just a Ziploc. You can do that by hand. No big deal.
But in a hotel room, and for speed purposes, I'm not going to put the clasp back on. Now this can, you can leave this right next to the bed. Back east, this is more of a thing, and this is how bed bug gets transferred back east. When you go to a Christmas party, Sweet Cheeks, in Warren, Michigan, where in the wintertime does everybody put their coats?
Oh, in a coat check place.
No, in a house.
Oh, on the bed.
Yeah.
On the bed. You're right. In Michigan, every time you go to somebody's house for dinner or Christmas, or whatever, he's right. All the coats go on somebody's bed.
Nobody's ever heard of a coat tree?
Right.
No, not back there, because there's so many of them.
Right.
The coats are so bulky. You put them on a coat tree, the coat tree fall over.
So
it's 5 degrees below.
This is how they get spread. But for somebody that does do a lot of traveling, $8 for a space bag like this, and then you can just fold it. If you want peace of mind, or you're like Glitzy and you worry about such things.
I bet you're going tomorrow to buy a space bag, huh?
I have some.
I have some.
And also, you should wash your clothes as soon as you get home.
The dryer will kill it. Yeah, the dryer will kill them.
It's the heat that does it. So when I'm in a home that's heavily infested, I strip right at the door, and my clothes go right in the dryer. And I've been doing this for like 3 years, and I never.
So a safe way to do this, really, if you go to a hotel.
Wait, hold on. I just have to ask a question. Are the people home?
No, he's talking about when he gets back to his house to trip.
No, when I get home.
We'd like you to come check for bugs.
Hey, wait, Tox is going, you want to come check for bugs in my house and you stripping at the door?
I just feel like you walk in, you're like, hi, my name is Steve. I'm going to take my clothes off. Point me to your dryer.
Right.
So, since we're talking about heat, I want to tell you a funny story real fast. So, Steve and I one night are having a conversation about bed bugs, and he's like, they like to hide in the headboards and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, so I have this nice little trick I've been using in the house. He's like, I take a blow dryer and, I'll hold it up to, behind the headboard, in an area and just hold it there for a while, or, at the corner of the box spring. That is fucking genius. So, a couple weeks later, I decided to go to San Diego with a couple girlfriends of mine. So, who packs a blow dryer and an extension cord? So my friends leave the room. They go to the front lobby to take care of some business, and I'm like, perfect, because I don't want to freak them out, But I'm like, checking this goddamn room. I got this. I have the beds tore apart. So they come back early, and I'm on my knees on the side of the bed with an extension cord plugged in with a fucking blow drying the side of the box spring.
In case there's bed bugs.
And they're like,
Oh my
That's
god.
not your only story that starts out with I was on my
My
knees.
knees.
Right? So let me get this right. If you want to check to see if your hotel room or anything has bed bugs, you blow dry the
Well,
box
the
spring.
blow dryer will kill them.
It'll bring them out. It'll bring them out.
That's what I'm saying.
What I would recommend, if you want to do the Tammy style,
Well, it was the flip.
right? I'm sorry, the glitz style. Slap me. It's more not so much in the mattress you want to worry about, is in the box spring and those little plastic corner
And
pieces.
that's
Yeah.
exactly where I was.
That's where.
Is that
that's
where you were blowing?
Now, there's a website
That's where I was blowing.
called. It's kind of like a message board where you can post if you have an issue with bed bugs in a hotel. It's called the Bed Bug Registry.
Oh, and I bet hotels.
And that's why I
hate
was,
that.
and that's why I was checking, because this particular hotel, that's why we had the
Right.
conversation, had
Yeah.
an issue, and I didn't want to tell my
Right.
friends.
It had an issue in like one room, but I've been reading this for a while, and what I've come to find out is if you see multiple reports for a particular hotel, it probably means they're having an ongoing issue, But, a lot of hotels don't have anything reported. So it's certainly, I like to say there's two kinds of people. People that have dealt with bed bugs and people that haven't. People that have dealt with them buy space bags, put their bags, they are careful because they know it's a pain.
And I have a little bit of a background with this besides Steve, because of my my real job.
Right.
So, and I've had to learn a lot about it.
Right.
So that's why that adds to my paranoia too.
So every time you go to a hotel, you are on your knees with your hairdryer? So what are you on your knees? That's what are you?
Actually, I want to room with you. But what are you going to take care of the bed bugs?
What are you looking for? So you blow the pieces
Okay,
on the
well, there's a
corner
couple
of the
things.
box spring.
Can we see if you taught me well
Sure.
of what I look for when I go into between Steve and okay. So heat'll bring them out.
Okay.
So if it's highly infested, the heat's going to bring them out. You're going to see some kind of movement. It's not a guarantee,
Right.
but
like
it's
the
something.
surging of bugs coming out of the
No.
box spring.
No.
Like one.
But like Steve said, they don't like particularly the mattress. So you look around the box spring, and they will leave. It almost looks like pepper sprinklings.
Yeah.
And then
Is
you
that
will,
feces?
yes. And then if it's a really bad infestation, you'll actually see the shedding of their skin, because they'll shed.
Ooh.
And then you'll also see blood smears for when they fed and then they went away.
Oh.
Another interesting fact too, and this is not something that Steve taught me, but I know from
Experience. From your own hunt.
from the real world
bug hunt.
from my real world job. It's always interesting to see how new the box springs and the mattresses are in the room, and if they have covers over them, because hotels have gotten smart, and there are now covers that you can purchase that go over the box springs and the mattresses that prevent.
This is exactly what Tammy's talking about in a bad infestation.
Here, let me put that closer to the
and it's
camera.
gross.
When bed bugs grow, they shed their skins like snakes.
So we had a couple of comments in.
That's the pepper-looking stuff.
Right.
You're kind of close. Was that a good picture?
I'm working on,
Okay.
If you that's a real bad infestation. You're not going to see like something like that in a hotel.
Is that a bed bug on the back of that book?
Yeah, and they kind of resemble a smaller cockroach too. So I think a lot of people, if they were to see them,
now this is a bed bug, but it's greatly multiplied because they're really tiny.
They're about the size of an adult. Is about the size of an apple seed. You can see them. So I'll give you real quick. Level 1 in a hotel. Level 1 quick check before I go to bed. I check the sheets. You know, because occasionally, like, they come out at night. You're not going to find them at 4 in the afternoon. Before you go to bed, check. If you want to be a little bit more diligent when you go to the bathroom at 3 in the morning, check, you know, a little bit more. If you want to be even more diligent, then you start tearing the bed apart.
Tammy style.
Tammy style.
But at that point, isn't it too late? I mean, if you're up at 3 a.m., I mean,
Here's what you want to know.
bug infested.
If I went into a hotel and I saw a bed bug, you know, mostly I want to know, okay, when I get home, I got to be real careful with my stuff. You know, if I get bit tonight, that's not the big deal. It's if I bring them home. That's
Well,
the big
and
deal.
if your bag is far away from the bed, and I mean if they did have them in the box
Right.
spring, and your suitcase is far away from the bed and in a bag, your chances that they're not going to leave the box spring to go to your suitcase in the bathroom.
No, they love to live close to us.
I think we're getting ready to go to break soon, but I think you need to explain how they find you in the evening too, because I think people will be interested in how.
Yeah, it's amazing that they actually track our carbon dioxide. So if you take a vial of bed bugs and you breathe in there, or they track our heat and they track our carbon dioxide, which stirs them up. So like they can zero in on you. You know, they'll find you. That's why, you know, people, like, one of the biggest mistakes in a home is they got bed bugs in the bedroom, so they go to the couch. So what happens? The bed bugs just follow
you there, right?
It's much more difficult to get bed bugs off of a couch than it is off of a bed. And this is not a pillow. This is I'm going to show. We got time? Oh,
well, look what Alexia's got up. The bed bug registry. Is this a list of the hotels? And if you look at the
recent, down at the bottom, there's 3 columns. One is an ad column. In the middle column, it's recent bed bug reports. So.
Right. And you can see that the red. She's got a map of the United States. You can see that the East Coast is really, really heavily infested.
Yeah.
They say Cincinnati, Ohio, which I find is amusing.
Yeah, Cincinnati is really infested. It's just
so before you travel, go to the bed bug registry.
No, it's certainly if you
or take Steve with you,
or call Glitz. Yeah, Glitz will go with you.
Bring your hair dryer. All right, we have to go to break. This is our little bit longer break, folks, but we will be back. More talk about bed bugs and about love and fat chicks. We'll be right back.
This is Sierra of the curvaceous bounty of Sin City on Vegas All Net Radio